Britain's Queen Elizabeth II died yesterday at 96 years old. After coming to the throne in 1952, she became the oldest monarch in the world and the longest reigning in British history. She was an instantly recognizable figure to billions of people across the world. This was her Platinum Jubilee year, marking 70 years since she succeeded her father, King George VI, in 1952. As well as the United Kingdom, the Queen was also head of state in 14 Commonwealth countries around the world. For most of her subjects, she was the only monarch they have ever known, featuring on stamps, banknotes, and coins, and immortalized in popular culture. Faith Orr takes a look back at her life.
Queen Elizabeth II was born Princess Elizabeth Alexandra Mary on the 21st of April in 1926. She wasn't destined for the throne. Elizabeth spent her early years between homes in London and Windsor, enjoying the life of a royal alongside her younger sister Margaret. But that all changed in 1936, when her father's elder brother abdicated the throne. King Edward VIII had reigned for less than a year. When her father took the throne as King George VI, young Elizabeth became his heir apparent. This was a role she took seriously. She made the first of her famous radio broadcasts during World War II from Windsor Castle, when she told the children of Britain that in the end all will be well, for God will care for us and give us victory and peace. Elizabeth joined the war effort personally in 1945. She trained side by side with other British women to be a driver and mechanic. It was just the start of her public service.
I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and to the service of our great imperial family to which we all belong.
One of the defining themes of her life was her long marriage to Prince Philip. She first met him when she was only 13. The pair were distant cousins. King George was initially hesitant about the match. He didn't deem Philip suitable. But the pair were married in 1947 at Westminster Abbey. Their eldest son, Prince Charles, was born the following year, and daughter Anne arrived in 1950. The marriage was tested when King George died earlier than expected in February 1952, and Elizabeth assumed the role of British monarch. She was just 25 years old. Her official coronation took place on the 2nd of June 1953 in Westminster Abbey. For the first time, the ceremony was broadcast on television. Her coronation marked the end of Philip's naval career. He would spend the rest of his life by her side. Queen Elizabeth started her reign as she meant to go on, with her longest ever Commonwealth tour. It lasted 6 months and took in 44,000 miles. The Queen would remain committed to the Commonwealth throughout her life, even as countries gained independence from Britain. Her commitment to public life at times took a toll on her family. There were challenging periods, particularly her eldest son Charles's marriage to Diana Spencer. He was 32 and she was just 20 when they wed. It would ultimately end in divorce. Then in 1997, Princess Diana was killed in a car crash in Paris. The fallout from her death was one of the few times the Queen was thought to be out of step with public opinion. While crowds mourned at the gates of Buckingham Palace and something of a national hysteria built up, the Queen stayed in Balmoral in Scotland with Charles and Diana's 2 sons, William and Harry. It's said she made the decision to protect her grandsons. They were ultimately thrust into the spotlight, walking behind their mother's coffin on the day of her funeral. Family would cause the Queen yet more problems when Harry, said to be her favourite grandson, married American actress Meghan Markle. The pair decided royal life was not for them and relinquished their roles, moving to the US. The couple made scathing comments about life in the royal family, with Meghan saying one member had made racist remarks. While her personal life wasn't always smooth sailing, the Queen always made sure her public duty didn't falter. She would maintain a love of dogs and horses throughout her life, particularly evident during trips to Balmoral Castle. There, she occasionally entertained foreign dignitaries. The Queen lived through 14 Prime Ministers and American presidents. Winston Churchill was rumoured to be her favourite, with their weekly chats extending well beyond the designated 30 minutes. The pair were so close, the Queen even broke protocol at Churchill's funeral by arriving before his family. She saw huge technological advances in her lifetime, joining in with social media in 2014 when she sent her first tweet, signing it Elizabeth R. The Queen became immortalised in the show The Crown, which dramatised many moments from the monarch's life, including an intruder breaking into her bedroom in 1982. But one of the images that many will remember is of Queen Elizabeth II casting a lonely figure at the funeral of her husband of 73 years. She got back to public duties quickly after the death of Philip, remaining in her later years how she started her reign, as a stoic figurehead who put the needs of the country far above her own.
We're now being joined by Ambassador Sharaf-Adin Tuji Isola, the Nigerian High Commissioner to the United Kingdom. Ambassador Isola, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Well, President Muhammadu Buhari has already paid tribute to the Queen, saying that the story of Nigeria would be incomplete without a chapter on Queen Elizabeth II. Would you like to comment further on that? Nigeria-UK relations in the course of our reign and our legacy.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers, and thank you for having me on Arise this morning. Well, the history of Nigeria would not be complete without the Queen, because you recall that the Queen ascended the throne in 1952, and we got our independence in 1960. And if you look at many of the meetings that took place within that period by our prominent leaders, the Prime Minister, Tafawa Balewa, Ahmadu Bello, the Premier of the Northern Region, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Premier of the Eastern Region, and then Premier of the, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Premier of the Western Region, and the Eastern Region Premier, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. A lot of these meetings took place in Lancaster House, which is the official headquarters of the Foreign Office of Britain. And you'll recall that even during our Independence Day, the Queen sent a representative to really give Nigeria the instrument of independence. And the Queen has also had the opportunity to interact with all our leaders, from Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa Balewa to President Muhammadu Buhari. And I have no doubt in my mind, and as you all know, that all leaders of Nigeria from then till now held the Queen in very high esteem.
Thank you for that, Ambassador Isola. What was your personal recollection of the Queen? Because I imagine, like every other ambassador, you met her when you presented your letters of credentials, I believe they're called. What can you tell us about her?
Yes, precisely on the 25th of November, year 2021, just smarting out of COVID, I had the opportunity to present my letter of credence at Buckingham Palace to Her Majesty the Queen. On that occasion, what I saw was a very, intelligent and quite engaging personality. The Queen really engaged me in various topics, particularly Nigeria-Britain relations, and more importantly, about the Commonwealth. Even had the opportunity of requesting for strengthening the bilateral relationship between Nigeria, and whether we could have the opportunity of a binational commission so that all our outstanding MOUs can be activated evaluated, monitored to ensure maximum performance. The Queen kept on emphasizing the need to use the Commonwealth as a multilateral institution. And even when I explained that, yes, we can both have the bilateral relationship deepened and also still have a multilateral relationship at Commonwealth also strengthened. But you can see the body language was such that she was very passionate about the Commonwealth. And she has taken all efforts to strengthen the Commonwealth. Throughout that engagement, even though I let her know how Nigerians generally love her, and at every time she visited Nigeria then, people would line up on the street 4 hours in the sun to receive her, showing the kind of love that they have for her, and that love is still very much there. And since yesterday, you can see Nigeria has been thrown into a kind of mourning, because I received a lot of condolence messages from Nigerians. And here in Britain, I must tell you that during the reign of the Queen, the last 70 years, Nigeria and Nigerians, that is the British Nigerian, have really had the opportunity to engage in the society here. The Queen has honored a lot of Nigerians with MB, OB, and even CB. As I talked to you just this year, Mr. Adetosoye was awarded CB, being the best manager of council in the whole of United Kingdom, Bromley Council. So I can go on and on the way Nigerians are honored. Some of the projects in Buckingham Palace, Nigerians like Henry Obi and the rest of them, are placed in strategic positions in various places. And aside from that, a lot of the projects that Nigerians embark upon, life-touching projects that were really acknowledged and honored by the Queen. And if you go to the House of Commons today, we have a lot of Nigerians there, particularly women, and that really shows, how the Queen really fought for the emancipation of women generally. Just 2 days ago, we had Shade Bednock appointed as Secretary of International Trade. She's MP. We have Kate Osamo, who is also an MP, the chairman of all party parliamentary group on Nigeria. And we have a couple of them, a couple of Nigerians in the House of Commons. And Nigerian British councillors all over the place. So if this opportunity has not been granted during her reign, some of these issues will not have arisen. So as far as British Nigerians are concerned, and an estimated 250,000 people, the Queen has really welcomed Nigerians here. And as you all know, as far as we are concerned, outside Nigeria, Britain is the home to most Nigerians.
All right, thank you so much, Ambassador. Let's talk about that, intersocial collaboration. You've talked about some of them, but, you being, the ambassador of a country like this, Nigeria, a big country like this, to the UK, what has been that intersocial, social and cultural relationship with the crown itself, the British monarchical systems and the systems around there? Because, the individual relationship with the Queen is different, but with the crown, it's another ballgame entirely, and that's the retinue of office and all of that.
Yes, the first thing that the crown represents, particularly during the reign of the Queen, which obviously is the reign that you and I know much, is about peace in the world. If you look at the focus of the Buckingham Palace during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, it's always about looking for peace. And given that, of particular interest is the current efforts on climate change which is through the Green Wall project, a project that the Queen has really delegated to King Charles III. So as far as Nigeria is concerned, those are one of the issues that will be pursued at the level of the government of Nigeria and Britain. The Green Wall project is about ensuring that the certification in Nigeria is brought to a level that we will have more of greens. The Queen is very much interested in the challenges that we have at the Chad Basin, which is one of the issues that is responsible for the insecurity that we have in the country right now. That I mean, Nigeria will pursue that as well. The Queen is also interested in British-Nigerian relations, given the fact that after Brexit, in Africa, we are the largest economy and the most populous black nation in the world. So the issue of Nigeria is really of interest. And if you look within the context of British companies in Nigeria, the Queen takes interest in our economic development as well.
Well, Ambassador Isola, two major transitions in the UK at the moment. A new Prime Minister, and then also a new King, Charles III. What are our expectations in both regards?
Well, thank you very much. It's Ruben, that's a very challenging question, because when the Prime Minister took office on Tuesday, after a visit to the Balmoral, where the Queen appointed her, she appointed her ministers the following day, Wednesday. And the tradition is for the ministers to engage with the Queen. But unfortunately, the Queen was not able to perform that engagement on account of doctor's advice. So it's the first challenge. And given the kind of challenges that we had in Britain the couple of months back, leading to the resignation and exit of the Prime Minister, and as the new administration is just getting into office, having not settled down, a British monarch with an encyclopedia of Britain within the context of 70 years is gone. And you're going to enter, the monarchy also will enter into another transition period that is quite challenging. But one thing that we must appreciate is that this is Britain. The institutions here have been built to sustain this kind of challenges. So I have no doubt in my mind that these built-up institutions, the Buckingham Palace has been strengthened, and don't forget that for quite a while, the Queen has delegated a lot of functions to King Charles III, obviously in preparation as the next in throne. And not only that, yes, we will also have some quite positive challenges, because the heir apparent now is Prince William, and that means he will be able to connect with his generation. And you and I know that all over the world we live in now, engagement of that generation really matter to the peace, tranquility, and development of any country. So, I mean, within that context, he will have more engagement and support King Charles III to engage with that strata of our society. Because you must appreciate the fact that, yes, there are challenges, but like I said, the institutions, I mean, the parliament, that is over 300 years in history. It's a strengthened institution. Downing Street, if you look at when the Prime Minister was welcome, one person has changed, but the bureaucracy in number 10 are still there, and they are still very much on ground. And if you also appreciate the fact, Yes, we have a change in prime minister, but it's still the same Conservative Party that is in government. And I know that the Conservative Party has slated a conference for 2nd to 5th October. We have invited the Nigeria High Commissioner to be part of that. And so in less than a month at that conference, I'm sure they will have to articulate a position to ensure that the government of Liz Truss is strengthened to confront these challenges.
Indeed, sir, that there's a seamlessness to the affairs. The Queen is dead, long live the King. But according to the timeline that's been laid out in Operation London Bridge, within the next 10 days, there'll be a funeral at Westminster Abbey before her interment at St. George's Chapel, Windsor. What role would Nigeria be playing in that as a Commonwealth nation?
Well, thank you very much. As at now, we'll play the role of a mourner, and the King Charles III and his Queen consort will bring the body of the Queen to London today, and the rites passage, I believe, will start from then. The British government will come up with a program on the funerals. Within the context of the London Bridge, it's expected that in the next 11 or 12 days, the Queen will be interred. And until the British government comes up with that, we won't be able to have an elaborate program. But as a matter of respect, at 6:30 yesterday, when the news broke, I had to cancel engagements in the mission for that day. Yesterday, I had a couple of meetings later for 7 and 8 p.m. Last night. They were cancelled, and I also had to ask every member of the mission to leave at that point in time. Our mourning process has started. In addition, the flags of Nigeria at the mission will fly at half-mast from today in mourning of the Queen. In addition to that, we will open a register for staff and other Nigerians that are desirous of signing the condolence register, which will be transferred later to Buckingham Palace. Those are the immediate actions that have been taken. But we look forward to the burial program from the British government, and we'll be able to dovetail into that accordingly.
Okay, and obviously you're expected to also, have your first meeting probably with the new King Charles, at some time soon. But I'd like to ask, you said in your private conversations with the Queen, you were talking about, bilateral agreement, but she was trying to uphold, the multilateralism the Commonwealth brings. I'd like to ask you, with King Charles III, what do you think will be the outlook of the Commonwealth now?
You see, the British monarchy is such that the exit of a reigning king or queen, marks the beginning of another king. And the law profession yesterday, automatically, all the Queen's Counsel attained the title of King's Counsel. And the court of St. James's Court, which is the court of the High Commissioners and Ambassador, King Charles will have to readmit all ambassadors and the High Commissioners in London as ambassadors and High Commissioners of the King's Court, not to the King's Court, not ambassador to the Queen again. So to Her Majesty the Queen will be ambassador to His Majesty the King. So these are things that will change, but I must tell you that this kind of thing happened over 70 years ago, and none of the actors are present, so I'm sure they will just take time to look at some of the challenges. The world in itself is dynamic. Some of these traditions that has to be tinkered a bit to fine-tune it with modern challenges. Don't forget, the British monarchy is quite conservative, but Prince Charles has been around for a while. He was just 3 years old when the Queen ascended the throne, and he's been there all the while. So, and with the institutions already built in Buckingham Palace, advice will come. It's not going to be, a reigning king without the institutional backing, either the bureaucrats or the chiefs. Because when I say the chiefs, all members of the royal family are also stakeholders, and the Queen, in our wisdom, has appointed a lot of lieutenant governors and other appointees that perform functions on behalf of the Queen. So all this will have to be brought in place. The House of Lords, the British, shall I say British stakeholders, because we have a lot of them, will have to come in place and rally around that institutions. And the King Charles III, will also have to make some proclamation. And within the context of the British monarchy, whatever he pronounced become law in the context of that monarchy. Like I said, I strongly believe that King Charles III will rule with inputs from the Buckingham Palace. So yes, the Queen may have gone, but the Buckingham Palace remains, the royal family remains, reality remains, and all things will be taken up from that perspective.
Well, thank you very much, Ambassador Isola, for joining us on the Morning Show. Thank you very much indeed.